Pacers African native Dikembe Mutombo. The offensive foul on Rick Smits. Mutombo to the bench with 2 early fouls, and that opened things up in the middle for Jalen Rose. Pacers by 4. Second quarter, the Hawks coming back. Ryder will blow by Reggie Miller for the hoop. JR with 16 in the game. Hawks by 10 at the half, but in the third quarter, the Pacers went on a 40-point explosion while the Hawks were held to a franchise career low 10 points. Reggie Miller, 19 of his 25 in the third, as the Pacers blew out the Hawks in embarrassing fashion by 27, causing Ryder to sulk alone at the end of the bench at the end of the game. And for some 15 minutes afterwards, when he finally reached the locker room, this is what he had to say for his teammates.
Yeah, I'd rather win, man. The 7th in the league, 6th in the league, it's warm, man. I'd rather win, man. It's just bull. People don't care, man. I'm tired of just laughing and giggling when we losing and shit. People don't care, man. I care.
You mean guys in here?
I care, man. Just what I said when I first came to this motherfucker. I want to win, man. It's some bull. Now, if you get my point, you get it. If you want to talk about me, talk about me. I don't give a I want to win. So that's why I was reluctant to come to this. Excuse me.
And Shaq and company hosting the Phoenix Suns. Early on, the Lakers showing how much more unselfish ball they're playing under new coach Phil Jackson. Shaq finding Kobe for the 360 slam. Shaq with 27 in this game, but he also dished out 7 assists here to the cutting Robert Horry for the slam. Lakers up 5 at the break. More Bryant in the third, trying to beat the third quarter buzzer.
He stops, he shoots.
And does. 18 for Kobe. The Lakers win it 103-87 to improve to an NBA best 25-5.
Of power in the NBA the past decade has resided squarely in the East. From the Detroit Pistons to the Chicago Bulls, Eastern Conference teams muscled most of the NBA crowns from their Western foes. However, last season, when the San Antonio Spurs broke through and won the title, it was the first evidence that the power had shifted west. West has benefited from a migration of talent. Shaquille O'Neal went from Orlando to L.A. Penny Hardaway left the Magic for Phoenix. Scottie Pippen moved from Chicago to Houston and settled in Portland. Seattle has become a top free agent destination, and even perennial malcontent Chris Webber has found a home in Sacramento. Influx of talent has added a tougher element to the Western Conference. Top teams like the Lakers can now bump down on the blocks as well as get down on the break, making them even more dangerous.
In North Carolina, Sam Cassell to Glenn Robinson, the big dog, knocks that one down. He had 36 on the night. Bucks within 3. Now Milwaukee, Robinson again, this time other side of the floor. Dead solid, perfect. Bucks up by a point, 103-102. Now Milwaukee down 2 with 26 seconds left. Sam Cassell, 19 assists. Can he get 20? No, he can't. Robinson misses, and the Hornets win it, 109-105. Now the Heat and the Magic. Glenn Doc Rivers and the Magic only 6 and 6 at home. John Amici the miss. Look at this action. Chris Gatling the miss. Bo Outlaw the miss. Chucky Atkins the miss. Gatling, wow! Fast and furious. Heat led by 2 at the half. Pat Riley says this never happened in L.A. How about this? Ben Wallace just throws that thing up there and it goes in. Maybe it's the haircut. I don't know. These things coming back. Heat lead by 4 after 3, and then last chance for the Magic. Heat up 3. 3 seconds left. Darrell Armstrong hits nothing but glass. And the Heat win at 109-106. The 76ers and the Warriors. Wilt Chamberlain's jersey retired at halftime. Spent a great deal of his career with the Warriors. 4 seconds left and a half. John Starks behind his back and shoots. And, yeah, dead solid, perfect. Warriors down by 2 at the half. And then Allen Iverson, the I-Man, popping it in off the glass. That put the 76ers up 4. They won it 97-94. How about the Kings and the Sonics? Brotherly love here. John Barry, the steal. Here comes his brother Brent. That's the way we used to do it in the driveway. Flagrant foul on Brent Barry. We'll discuss amongst themselves. Now John driving on Brent and then makes the great pass out front to Derek Martin. He knocks that down for 3. And then John Barry picking up the loose ball, pushing it ahead to Chris Webber. Webber winds up with the layup, and Sacramento has the win, 113-104. How about the Suns and the Lakers? Shaq and the Lakers looking for their 10th straight victory against Phoenix. Early on, Shaq deflects it. Ron Harper back to Shaq, over to Kobe, and now you know why he's got his own video game. Lakers led by 5 at the half. Kobe wound up with 18. More Shaq. Look at the big guy handle. It's a little shaky right there at the finish, but Kobe strong on the ending. Shaq had 27, 7 assists. Lakers win at 103-87.
High-scoring guard against the Pistons. No problem early. Jason Terry to Lorenzen Wright for the slam. Hawks by 11 early on, but back came the Pistons. Check out the hesitation move here by Grant Hill. That is artwork. Hill with 25. Closing seconds before the half, Lindsey Hunter. He'll kick it ahead to Jerry Stackhouse for the soaring one-hand slam, and the Pistons had a 2-point lead at the break. This one a back-and-forth affair down the stretch. Jimmy Jackson, the jumper, to give Atlanta a 1-point lead. Under 15 seconds left now in regulation. Atlanta by 3. But Jerry Stackhouse will knock down the tray, and we are going to an extra session and in overtime. Detroit leading by 2, but it's LaFonso Ellis with a clutch wide-open jumper to tie the game. Now, the Hawks leading by 2 late, but the Pistons with one last chance. It's Terry Mills for 3. Got it. Game, set, and match. Detroit wins it 106-105. The Hawks put up a good fight without Ryder, but they do fall in overtime. Vince Carter and the Toronto Raptors paying a visit to Dallas, and Vince was flying high. The alley-oop from Charles Oakley. Later, Carter misses the fadeaway jumper, but he gets the rebound, and he'll slam it over Sean Bradley and everybody else. Carter with 22 points and 8 rebounds. Fourth quarter, the Mavericks trying to make a comeback. Damon Jones finds German Dirk Nowitzki, who drains the three-pointer. A career-high 32 for Nowitzki, and that cut the Raptors' lead to 3. But the Raptors too strong down the stretch. Carter misses the jumper, but his cousin, Tracy McGrady, is there for the slam. He had a season-high 24 in Toronto, won at 109-104 for their 3rd straight win.
A lot of Vince Carter here on World Sport, and we make no apologies. After the Dallas turnover, Air Canada swings into action and comes up with the amazing dunk. Let's see it again. Carter with one for the highlights reel here, doing a 360-degree spin in the second quarter for our World Sport play of the day.
Now, a 6'7" forward from Central Arkansas. Welcome back, Scottie Pippen.
And Pippen showing his wares in the second quarter. Getting it back to Pippen for the lay-in there. Blazers by 19 at the half. Scottie all over the place in this game. He had 11 points as the Blazers won this one 88-63 to dump the Bulls to 2-26. Pippen glad to be back in Chicago as a member of the NBA's second-best team. The game for Philadelphia 76er Allen Iverson Monday against the visiting Milwaukee Bucks. There, the three-pointer. Then again, Iverson this time for the jumper as he falls backward into the bench. Now, 8 seconds left in regulation. The Sixers by 3, but former Sixer Tim Thomas with a clutch three-pointer. He had 18, and we're going to overtime, and that's when Iverson put this one to bed. The little runner in the lane. 45 points for Iverson as the Sixers won at 124-120.
And watch this. Dickie Simpkins tips the ball to Elton Brand. Now he can score here, but doesn't realize it. Finally manages to get the basket. Barely. The Bulls lose again. But Elton Brand does get our play of the day with this confusing play at the United Center. And that is a perfect example of how bad the Bulls have been this year, Dave.
That's right, Pedro. And when we return, a warm welcome back to the Windy City for former Bulls star Scottie Pippen. For the 12-man roster, Grant Hill and Alonzo Mourning got the other 2 spots. Carter, the 22-year-old Toronto Raptors star forward, as leading players in all the all-star balloting, but the selection committee, seeking somebody who would accept a 12th man mentality, went instead with Allen. By the way, Shaq is not on the team because he wasn't interested. On the court Tuesday, Phoenix Suns forward Tom Gugliotta returned to the lineup for the first time since suffering a seizure 3 weeks ago. The Suns hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Gugliotta finished with just 2 points, but in light of what has happened, even the 2 points were definitely positive. Good to see him back. Tell you who was hot in this game, though. Cliff Robinson, 30 points and 9 rebounds as the Suns won this one by a final of 86-80. The NBA, the Boston Celtics' futility continued at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks continuing their home mastery over the Celts. Latrell Sprewell, the nice dish to Marcus Camby for the deuce. Meantime, big night for the Knicks. Allan Houston, a season-high 37 points and a 96-88 victory. meaning the Celtics have not won at Madison Square Garden still since January of 1993. Coach Lenny Wilkins for the first Hawks game against Detroit, and it was Jason Terry from three-quarters court. That's some good coaching right there. Big night for Grant Hill, though. 42 points for the second game in a row as Detroit won its fifth contest in a row by a final of 120 to 108. Next, checking in with Tim Duncan and the slumping NBA champion San Antonio Spurs. Vin Baker, the alley-oop to Ruben Patterson. Sonics by 7 at the half. Third quarter, though, the Spurs trying to make a comeback of it. Tim Duncan, the rare bank shot for 2 of his 24. Spurs up by 1, but the Sonics would answer. Gary Payton driving tough to the hoop. Misses the shot, but great athletic move as he gets the rebound and scores. Fourth quarter, Terry Porter will find Avery Johnson. He hits the jumper. That cuts Seattle's lead to 4. But down the stretch, the Sonics, just too much. Check out the great ball movement here. They get it to the rifleman. Chuck Person hits the three-pointer. And then Gary Payton will take it to the hole for 2 of his 24. Seattle wins it by 3 to send the Spurs reeling to their 6th loss in 8 games. Well, the future is so bright for actor Jack Nicholson and his favorite team, the Lakers, that he's got to wear shades. Although the Lakers were a little sloppy early on against their crosstown stepchildren, the Los Angeles Clippers. That was Troy Hudson with the steal and the layup. Third quarter, Clippers on the run. That's rookie Lamar Odom for the Tomahawk Slam. Clippers by 2, but that's when Shaquille O'Neal said, "I've had enough, and I'm going to go to work." It was pretty much man versus boys. Shaquille O'Neal, a monster game, 38 points, 15 rebounds. And the Lakers too strong down the stretch. Rick Fox will get involved. He knocks down the three-pointer. Just fun time for the Lakers at the Staples Center, and they put it away. Robert Horry goes in for the left-handed slam. The Lakers roll over the Clippers for the second straight night to improve to an NBA best 20. First half off the miss, it's Sam Mitchell getting it to the big ticket. Kevin Garnett coming right into your living room for the rim-rattling slam. Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura, yeah, that's right, baby. Under 10 seconds left to go. The T-Wolves going to their money man. It's Garnett giving them a lead with 3 seconds to play. 27 for Garnett, but the Blazers had a last chance effort. Damon Stoudemire for the tie. In and out, and Minnesota escapes to knock off the NBA's second best team by 2, halting the Blazers' 6-game winning streak. Meantime, a bizarre incident in Dallas where Mavericks coach Don Nelson took after Utah Jazz star Karl Malone. Nelson had been ejected for arguing a call and then turned his anger on Malone. As you saw, the two had to be separated, and Nelson had to be escorted from the arena, sparing him from seeing another frustrating loss for his lowly Mavericks, which kicks off our roll call of NBA scores.
Charlotte, Eddie Jones still out with a torn ligament in his left elbow. Now, players who were traded between these two teams did well early. That was former Laker Elvin Campbell with a hoop. And it's former Hornet Glenn Rice here driving, getting the foul, and the deuce. The Lakers trailing by 3 at the half. Fourth quarter, the Hornets build a big-time lead. 13 points, actually. Derek Coleman there with a jumper. But the Lakers come back. Kobe Bryant drives, scores. He had 13 points. Poor shooting night, but he had 10 rebounds. Glenn Rice, then later, he had 17. And Shaquille O'Neal does it in the post, off the glass. 23 points, 16 rebounds for him as the Lakers lead by 4. They had a 20-3 run. Now the Hornets make it interesting late on. They trail by 4, but David Wesley brings them back to within 2. Still down by 2, the Hornets are here. Time winding down. Bobby Phills goes for a 3, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. The referees judged that his heel touched the sideline, so that was out of bounds. The Lakers hold on to win their 13th straight game.
Rick Fox comes in for Chicago.
Tim Floyd tried to lead his Chicago Bulls to consecutive wins for the first time this season. Bulls taking on Washington, and it's Juwan Howard early in the game with a big slam. But the Wizards would get sloppy. They had a 9-point lead at the half, but the Bulls cut it down to 2. It's Tony Kukoc picking it off right there for 2 points. Fourth quarter, Bulls on the verge of scoring 100 points. Now, they hadn't done that in their last 41 games. It's Ron Artest with a big 3. There are 96 right here. The Bulls go back outside. Kukoc drives. And then it's the big 3 right there again by Artest. Now, with 1 second left on the shot clock, Kukoc scores, and the Bulls get to 100 points. They also win. The Bulls take the second quarter, 1-point game here is Luke Longley. It's a big slam underneath. And more Suns. Running the break is Jason Kidd, and he finds Toby Bailey for the Big jam over Detlef Schrempf, kid with 14 assists in the game, onto the fourth quarter where Bonzi Wells would take over, if you believe it. There's the lay-in, and later on Greg Anthony finds Wells under the basket for 2 more, and then it would be Scottie Pippen hooking up with Wells. Wells had 13 points in the fourth quarter on his way to a career-high night of 23, while late in the fourth, Blazers down 1. Pippen finds Bryant Grant for the slam. Grant had 21 points, 11 rebounds. The Blazers took this one by 5 and improved to 25-8 on the season. And now,
big night for Terrell Brandon and the Timberwolves. His first career triple-double, including 14 assists, and that one to Kevin Garnett, the big ticket with a big slam. Timberwolves by 18 at the break. Fourth quarter, though, the Sixers trying to make a run. Allen Iverson, the pick and the layup. And then he'll go back to work for the jump shot. 37 for the NBA's top scorer. And the Sixers cut Minnesota's lead to 9, but not nearly enough as the Timberwolves got it going again late. Peeler with the dish to Garnett. Poked in the eye on the jam, but it was the Wolves poking Philly in the eye on this one. They've won 10 of them, especially in raucous Minnesota.
And the Red Hawk Timberwolves try to extend their impressive streak in the NBA, but they would have to get past Philly, the league's top scorer. Stay with us. Stars Jerry West and Michael Jordan were in attendance at the Staples Center and as the Lakers took on the Denver Nuggets, and this one would be all Kobe Bryant. Kobe doing it all in the first half there on the alley-oop slam, and then more from Kobe right here from Brian Shaw. The Lakers opening up a huge lead. Michael Jordan was enjoying the Kobe show. Check it out here. Time winding down, and Kobe from 35 feet, nothing but the bottom of the net. He had 17 points in the first quarter and 27 in the first half. Second half, more Kobe. Reverse layup, good. Lakers dominating throughout. This time off the Glenn Rice miss. Kobe gets the ball and dumps it to Shaq. Shaq had 31 points, 19 rebounds, and 9 assists. The Lakers win this one easily by 35.
Monster game for San Antonio's Tim Duncan against the visiting Utah Jazz. The native of the Virgin Islands was a one-man show, dumping in a career-high 46 points. That was just under 50% of his team's total points, the highest in the league this season. Terry Porter clinched the win with this late three-pointer as the champs rallied from 9 back to win by 7, busting up Utah's 6-game winning streak and recapturing first place in the Midwest Division from the Jazz. Well, Boston Celtics Ukrainian star Vitaly Potapenko giving cranial buzz cuts to fans who had no job interviews in the next couple of months prior to Boston games with Vancouver. But Potapenko showing that you don't really need to be like Samson to come up big. Needs no hair. He had 12 points in the first quarter, but the Grizzlies would come back strong. Earlier, Pedro had all Kobe. I give you all Mike Bibby. 16 points in the first half. The Potapenko fans not pleased. Look at a pretty reverse there by Bibby to tie the game. And then in the fourth quarter, the three-pointer from the top of the key. A career-high 33 for the son of the former NBA great as the Grizzlies won at 112-103 for their third straight road win. That is a franchise best. Denver Nuggets, and who else? Kobe Bryant going to work. Pedro very jealous that this was not in his highlight package because we saved it for the play of the day. This is the highlight of his 30-point night, and it's our World Sports Play of the Day. Allen and Tim Thomas popping in jumpers as the Bucks had a 22-point lead at the half, and it would get much worse for the Hornets. No defense there as Allen waltzed in for the easy slam, and by the time the dust had settled, the Hornets had lost by 50 points, the worst loss in team history. To buck that streak again, well, Scott Williams showing just about what you have to do to slow down the Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq unstoppable in this game. The big slam there, tied at 26 after the first quarter. Now ahead to the fourth quarter, the Lakers had built a comfortable lead, and Kobe made it even more comfortable. 22 points for the youngsters, and the Lakers were up 16 at that point. And then Shaq goes back to work, getting the big rebound. He had 27 points and 10 rebounds in this game as the Lakers cruised to a 103-104 win for their 16th straight win. That is second longest in team history, but still 17 to go to tie the NBA record of 33. New York Knicks visiting the Detroit Pistons. That's Latrell Sprewell wreaking havoc as he normally does. The big slam. Spree with 23 in New York at a 2-point lead at half. Third quarter, Lindsey Hunter getting involved for the Pistons in a big way. 3 from each side of the wing. He had a season-high 29, and Detroit built a 4-point lead. Later in the third quarter, Grant Hill, nice baseline move past Sprewell, part of a 13-0 Detroit run. Jeff Van Gundy not pleased. And then Hunter with the block, kicks it ahead to Jerry Stackhouse. He had 29, and the Pistons, an impressive 114 for 108 victory. Went at it, and this is Tim Duncan kicking off a large game. You'll remember he had 46 versus the Jazz the last time out. Here going past Vlade Divac. Duncan didn't have 46, but a very fine 33-point effort to go with 20 rebounds. Fourth quarter, Chris Webber asserts himself. The finger roll past Duncan, then he drains the jumper over Duncan. And he drives down the lane. He'd score 1 more point than Duncan. And the Kings would score 4 more than the Spurs to snap San Antonio's 3-game winning streak.
From Toronto, where the Raptors took on Milwaukee. And it was a tough game for Ray Allen. Collides there with teammate Doug Christie. Then later on in the post, Vince Carter hits Allen with the elbow. Allen had to leave the game and get some plugs in his nose. It'll be a huge game for Vince Carter on the break here. He hits the floater in the lane. Carter can do it from the outside as well. From downtown on the wing, no problem with that. He had 23 points at the half. The Raptors did trail by 1 at that point. Well, second half, same story. Carter there, then comes off the screen and drains another jumper. Raptors up 1 after 3 quarters. And then in the fourth, he brings out his dunk arsenal. Check out this one here. Gets his own rebound and dunks on the opposite side. And then he turns it on right here. Monty Bogues, he knows what to do it. Dish it out to Carter. Big windmill slam. He had 47 points. That's a career high and a franchise high for any Toronto player. The Raptors win by 5.
Mike Dunleavy's Portland visited Phoenix on Friday looking for their 10th win in 11 games, but Suns guard Jason Kidd has other ideas. He deflects the ball to teammate Todd Day, who gives it right back to Kidd for the layup. Then Kidd draws 3 defenders down low before dishing the ball to Rodney Rogers for the slam. Kidd finishing the evening with 17 points and 8 assists. In the third quarter, things get ugly for Portland when Rasheed Wallace picks up a pair of technical fouls after arguing with the referee. A very animated Wallace would need to be restrained by his teammates before heading for an early shower. Determined Scottie Pippen would spark a Trailblazers rally, outscoring Phoenix by 31 points in the second half. After the steal and layup, Pippen hits from downtown. Blazers win by 22, Pippen finishing with 13 points and also 9 rebounds.
NHL upset over the Portland Trailblazers. Finley with 32 points in this game. Later on, Hubert Davis sealed the win with his 3-point shooting, making 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. He had 21 points as the Mavericks win by 8, improving their record to 12-24. Portland falls to 28-9.
People were hurt.
Didn't get off to a good start in this game. They trailed by 15 at the half, much in part to the play of Marcus Camby. A big block leading to this dunk by Latrell Sprewell. And later it would be Camby doing the damage himself. Getting the pass down low and then finishing it off strongly with the dunk. Second half, Hornets battle back. David Wesley takes the outlet pass, heads up court, and drives through the lane, getting the layup. But the Knicks were too tough. In the fourth quarter, Chris Childs to Kurt Thomas. He gets the 2 and the foul. And later on, it's Allan Houston who feeds Camby for the dunk. He had 14 points and 10 rebounds. Hornets lose their 7th straight game. The Knicks win this one by 12.
It's against the visiting Denver Nuggets. This guy missed the morning shoot-around because of the flu, but he lit up America West Arena for a Jordan-esque 50 points in a 113-100 Phoenix victory. It was the first 50-point game in the league this season. Jersey will be retired by the team. The Hornets hosting the Toronto Raptors, whose Vince Carter hammers home the rebound. 24 points for Carter. But with heavy hearts, the Hornets staged a monstrous rally. Derek Coleman, the big basket inside, part of a 25-0 run. And when the dust cleared, the Hornets had themselves a 115-94 victory. And an emotional moment afterward as the Hornets gathered for a team prayer to remember Bobby Phills.
And this is genuine, Steve. It's Lakers' third quarter.
At the Staples Center in Los Angeles, the Lakers hosted Seattle. Kobe Bryant doing some damage early. He had 15 points and a career-high 14 rebounds. On to the fourth quarter now, where the Sonics came up with some big shots. Ruben Patterson with a big dunk there, and then Gary Payton hits a clutch three-pointer to give Seattle a 1-point lead. He had 36 in the game. Now, the Lakers did have one last chance to win it, but both Bryant and Robert Horry can't find the hole. Sonics win their 5th straight game.
Ball to Seattle.
Great game in Minnesota between the Timberwolves and the visiting Indiana Pacers. That's 36-year-old Chris Mullin showing he can still pop from the outside, nailing the three-pointer. And then Mullin picks off the William Avery pass and takes it down for the layup. Indiana by 3 at the half. Third quarter, Austin Crozier makes the great save here. Mark Jackson, the great no-look to the Dutchman, Rick Smits. The Pacers by 10 after 3, but in the fourth quarter, here come the Timberwolves. Kevin Garnett for 2 of his career-high 37. Now under 7 seconds remaining, the Pacers trailing by 1, but Mark Jackson gets a little baby hook to go. Now under 2 seconds left to go, the Timberwolves inbound it to Malik Sealy, and not sure if that's what he wanted to do, but the result worked. It goes down the Timberwolves with a dramatic 101-100 victory. And they win their 12th game in their last.
President of Operations was at the MCI Center as the Wizards took on the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavs racing to a 6-point lead with Dirk Nowitzki's slam. Later in the second quarter, Tracy Murray had a chance to tie it up with a 3. He misses, but Jahidi White is there for the putback. Wizards down by just 1. In the third quarter, a monster dunk by Gary Trent from Dallas that even MJ himself would have been proud of. Dallas, though, running away with it and piling on the points. Nowitzki nails the 3 and is fouled. Mavs up by 12. Fourth quarter now, and Dallas looking very loose. Nowitzki to Finley for the 3. It wasn't spoiling the night, though. The Wizards' new co-owner enjoying himself with another Washington resident. But make no bones about it, Jordan with plenty of wood running out in the first half. John Thomas to Carter, who nails the 35-footer. That's about 10 meters. Boston won the game, but Carter, with yet another trick up his sleeve, gets our World Sport play of the day.
For their 7th straight win visiting the Milwaukee Bucks. Second quarter, Sonics running. That's Gary Payton, the no-look pass to Vin Baker for the wraparound basket. He finished with 31 in the game. The Sonics by 10 at the half. Early third quarter, Baker will miss the jumper, but Ruben Patterson there to clean house. The Sonics by 12 at that juncture, but the Bucks would come storming back. Ray Allen to Tim Thomas for the wide-open alley-oop dunk. Suddenly, we're tied at 92, but Payton took over down the stretch. Here, the high-arching runner off the glass for the deuce, and then on the very next possession, he takes the pass from Baker and buries the 3 to ice it. 22 points and 10 rebounds for the glove, as the Sonics beat the Bucks and Coach George Karl for the first time since he left for Milwaukee.
Louisville breaking against DePaul, and Reese Gaines saving it from going out of bounds. Touch passes it to Tony Williams for the lay-in. Let's see it again. Gaines with an incredible effort. The sweet no-look touch pass for our World Sport play of the day.
Cliff Robinson and the Suns. Robinson had 50 points the last time these two teams met. No such heroics, although he did have 24 points in the game. Now it was Rafe LaFrentz who had the hot hand for the Nuggets in the second quarter. Drains a 3 right there, and then doing the damage again from downtown. Part of a 21-7 run by Denver as they had a 4-point lead at the half. Now the fourth quarter, Suns start to pull away. Kidd with a steal and then lays it in. More from the Suns. This time it's Rodney Rogers going by LaFrentz with a big dunk. Suns up by 7. Now the Nuggets did make a run. Brian Stith had 3 3-pointers in the fourth quarter as the Suns come back within 4. But it was just too much. Kidd down the lane. Kidd runs over Van Exel, hits the tough jumper. He had 24 points and 12 assists. The Suns win this one by 2. We find out. Action from the second quarter. It's Marcus Camby with the steal, leads the break, and then gets the return pass from Chris Childs for the big slam. New York up by 1 at this point. The Spurs would come back to take a 4-point halftime lead. It's Duncan posting up Camby, hits the hook and gets the foul. He had 19 points in the first half. Well, in the third quarter, it would be all Spurs. Terry Porter finds Duncan. He had 33 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists. As San Antonio take this one by 13.
Well, the action was hot and heavy in Utah Monday, especially for the Jazz mascot. Utah hosting the LA Lakers in a Western Conference showdown. Late in the game, Karl Malone trying to bust things up, but he travels, and that was his reaction. The LA had a chance to win it, but Glenn Rice's shot at the buzzer is too strong, and we're going to overtime. In overtime, the Lakers down 2, but Rice does hit this time, the tough turnaround jumper. But with just under 4 seconds to go in the overtime, Karl Malone, who had 31, had the 3 for the win, but it doesn't go, and we went to a second overtime. And in the second frame, John Stockton drives and kicks it to Quincy Lewis, who hits the fadeaway, put the Jazz up 3, and they would go on to win 105-101 to hand the suddenly slumping LA Lakers their 4th. Seattle's Brent Berry. A great give and go, and the circus scoop under the hoop for the layup. Beautiful circus shot. Yeah, put a tent over that circus. Couldn't prevent the Knicks from winning by 6, but we'll call it our World Sport Play of the Day.